folks, this would be training or understanding cloud for dummies, or that title movie might have been taken, so we'll use understanding cloud 101. So the idea of cloud services, I think of it more as a thinking of your existing infrastructure network as in Apple, and the amount of money that you pay for that Apple. Let's just say today you're paying $5 well, for your current infrastructure. Tomorrow you will be paying the same $5, but instead of just getting an apple, you'll get a basket of apples and some oranges. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture of an apple. Not best Picasso here, but one of these guys. And there we go. Alright, so the, and not using Apple because of the company, just simply thinking of the fruit. So today this represents your current network, and this apple, or your network, is composed by 4 segments. The most noticeable, or the main one that most folks focus on, is your hardware. Okay, so that goes from the actual boxes, the servers that you use to house your applications and run your operating systems, to the actual wiring that the premise requires to establish your network, to be able to power the devices, as well as any other additional wiring or equipment that you need to mount in order to allow these boxes to operate. Okay, so that's your hardware. The next section is going to be your applications or operating systems. Okay, that's essentially what goes on to the actual servers, the boxes. Let's just draw some boxes here. So those are going to be your the operating systems that are going to operate on those boxes, the apps that you're going to run on them. The expense associated to them is, or with those, is licensing, software upgrades, and maintenance. Okay, so that's essentially what that is. All right. The next expense or section of your network is going to be your IT support and maintenance. So these would be the folks that will troubleshoot, program, purchase the devices perhaps, and provide support to your current community, provide or run the maintenance on the applications, adjustments, configurations, troubleshooting, and that sort of thing. Right? So that's your IT support. Some firms have in-house folks that do all of that. So they will have 1 or 2, depending on the size of the firm, of course. Some firms have 22 IT support technicians that are in-house, that are a part of the IT department. Some firms are able to outsource that and get an integrator, a consultant that they can pay on the per visit basis, or have a yearly agreement that they pay a service fee for. So that's part of that. All right, the next component of this apple is going to be your cooling and power. Okay. Now this one, these are pretty obvious. This one is hard to notice a lot of times by a lot of folks, but of course the ones paying the bill do notice it, because it's a huge part of the the infrastructure. So your cooling, if you have X amount of servers, you have to keep them at a certain temperature in order for them to perform at their best performance and diffuse any crashing of the devices. And then you obviously need power for those devices, depending on how many devices you have and what else goes with them. You're going to need to power those devices. So there's an associated cost with that, which is at the end of the day part of your one Apple that you're paying for. Okay, so the depending on what all is involved, your $5 that you're paying today for this Apple, if you needed to expand, if you needed to grow, if you had a server failure, or you need to double the size, or even 25% of increase your network by 25%, then that $5 fee, if you went, to, let's just say you went and you needed 50% more infrastructure for your network, then that becomes the new fee would be $7.50. $1.00. Okay. Keep it in low numbers just to keep us in perspective, but keep it simple. So this would be your new cost for your new for additional network that you needed, in some of the new devices. Not necessarily new for what you already had in place, but just new for the stuff that you added. All right. With cloud services, all of these components are included in the multi-tenancy environment. So the hardware, there's no need to buy hard devices anymore, because that's included in the service. The operating systems and apps, some folks do have their own applications that they want to run and keep that are specific to their firms. Those you can keep and operate on dedicated machines. Operating systems and licensing we can take care of. Okay, so that's one expense you don't have to worry about on the operating systems. IT support with the cloud services, most providers do provide a 24/7 by 365 support that with folks at data centers, command centers, network application centers, that will provide the support that you need, whether it's deploying a new virtual machine or activating a couple of more users. That's or deactivating some users. That's already taken care of, so that's an expense you don't have to worry about. And then cooling and power, because of the fact that you no longer have hardware housed in your premise, and you're not going to be housing any more of those, any more of that equipment, the cooling and the power goes away. That's going to be done by the provider, your cloud services provider. So that's an expense that goes away. All right. So essentially, what ends up happening is for the same $5 that you would spend for your current infrastructure, you can get, because of the fact that you don't have all those, now you reduce your cost by 50%. Let's just say 50%. Normally it's 75%, but we'll keep it conservative. So you will reduce your cost now with cloud services, with not the current infrastructure, but more infrastructure with additional machines, additional operating systems, additional support, all of the cooling and power needs taken care of for $2.50. Half the cost of what you were paying before, and 3 times or 2 times less than what you would be paying if you had to expand your network. Okay? So that is the big buzz about cloud, and why most folks are excited about cloud. And the industry is rapidly moving toward cloud services or virtualization. And, you know, this is just basic introduction. We can talk a little bit more about why certain providers, the difference between private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid clouds. And that will be part 2 of my videos. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy. And see you soon.